Let's get started. Oops, a moment. Okay, now it's working. So I will deliver some tips, tricks, and show some features that every developer should know. Okay. My current employer is a Proceed, so we do a lot of fun stuff there. So some development on mobile, they have some process integration, analytics, big data, database for sure. And at the moment we are working some stuff in the cloud. So a little bit about me. I am a senior DBA consultant, senior DB architect. I am an Oracle certified master, also an Oracle ACE member since 2009, and president of NLOUG, which started 2019. So if you want to get in touch with me, I suggest you to take a look on my blog, on my Twitter account, and LinkedIn. Usually I post most of things related to Oracle technologies, which is I love to do. As you probably noted, I am a Brazilian, but since 2018, I started to work and live here in Luxembourg. I got tired of the sunny days of Rio de Janeiro, and then I decided to move to a really cold country. As I mentioned before, I am an Oracle ACE. So if you are a person who shared knowledge on internet, on conference like we are doing right now, you should be part of this incredible program provided by Oracle. So we have three levels. I am in the middle level, so I am an Oracle ACE, and the next level will be ACE Director. So there are different kind of engagement with Oracle, with product managers, and as much as you like to speak on the community and share your knowledge, you should be part of this program. Okay. Oracle World, it's an amazing source of Oracle content for free. So take a look on the website of Oracle World Magazine, subscribe to the magazine, and you'll be awesome to receive the magazine by email. So you can download it by PDF as well. This is the kind of stuff, some examples of things that you find on the magazine. Okay, so why to perform this presentation? So I decided to build this talk a few years ago when I met one person, one developer, who said something after we shake our hands in the first meeting. So I am just trying to remember the phrase, but it was something like that. You know what? All DBAs run away from me because I know more Oracle than all of them. I got really surprised. I smiled and I thought and shared nothing, but I said, "Oh, this consultancy job here will be interesting at the minimum." So after some performance investigation on the database that this guy worked for a while, I realized why the DBAs run away from him. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna see today, it's the tab, the data tab on SQL Developer. So use that with precaution, because if you can leads into some performance issues. So don't scroll down on it, please, because we're gonna see together that if you just open the tab, by default, SQL developer will do you get just 100 rows. But if you scroll down, it will do a lot of more fetches, and that's could be a mess on the database regarding the performance issues. So, in my opinion, I don't like to use that tab. So I prefer to write my own SQL to get some sample data. Sometimes you want to see what is the data, how the data stored on the table looks like, and to perform some work on it. Okay, and another thing important is just use to select the data that you are intend to work on. Okay, so here I have a big tab and a big child. So I will gonna go to the tab, data tab, and so far so good. Nothing happens in the performance issues because by default you just do one fetch and getting 100 rows, which is not so bad to the performance, and the DBA will be not even notes that you did that. Okay, so as I mentioned, one fetch and 100 rows processed. So, but what happened if I do? I'm just showing the explain plane of the query, and you can see the amount of rows I should return if I do this kind of stuff. So don't do that, please. Otherwise, your DBA will be very angry with you, because in order to do that, SQL developer much need to perform a lot of fetches, and a lot of rows will be processed. Okay, and probably the DBA will call you to ask you why you are doing that. So as we're gonna see, after some seconds, we will check, and we're gonna see more fetches and more rows processed. Yeah, so 70 and 7,000 rows processed. Okay. Okay, another thing it's good about SQL Developer regarding the fetches. Even if we use the SQL as a script, it will limited of 5,000 rows, which is not so much depending of the size of the environment, the size of the tables and everything. So even using a script, running it out a where clause, which is the second icon here. Just a moment. Yeah, my pointer is not working as I. Yeah, here. Sorry. So here, as you saw, I have no where clause. So even with that, SQL developer will save you to have to cause damage on the production. So it prevents some problems. You can use it safely. As you can see, only 11 fetches were done, sorry, and 5,000 holes were processed. So another problem, and I saw it very often in the customers. Time to time, I got a call to investigate some performance issues on the customers, and most of the times because of I/O. And one of the main things that I see on the database is somebody put a commit inside a loop. So it will make your database produce an I/O of each row you process. So in my opinion, is the one of the bad scenarios I see over my entire career. So it's not too much difficult to arrange this kind of problem, and we're gonna see both ways of doing that. So first thing, don't judge my code because I am not a developer. So as you probably note so far, I am a DBA. So here we can see a loop which selects some 1 million rows in a table and inserts on another table. So I am doing a commit inside the loop for these two loops, okay? And the good way of do that, at least for me in this point, was remove the commits here and here and put it here. So in that case, I will do the same amount of work without generate a lot of more redo. So here I am calling the first PL SQL code. So create some tabs, and then I am loading the SPL SQL here with commit on every row, okay? So it took about 2 minutes, about 3 minutes to finish, okay? 2.5 minutes to finish. If I do the same thing without, so it's the different procedure here, but with the almost the same tasks on it, it take in my machine, it's just a virtual machine running Oracle on it. It take 10 seconds less, which is nice, and also will produce less redo. Okay, so the session 105, which is the second one, produced about 1 gigabyte of redo to load the 1 million of rows. And the second one produce about 600 more redo just because I issue a commit on every single row. Other things, in a real environment, you're gonna see some more other wait events on it. But here we can see some IO related events and not happening on the second attempt, which is the commit on the end of the procedure, okay? In my opinion, every developer should know how to read, how to interpret an execution plan. So it will help a lot to work with the DBAs to discuss about the performance of the database. So I really recommend you to take a look on Chris Saxon's and Maria Kogan's presentations about that subject, which is too longer to discuss today. But what can I help today? It's teaching you how to improve a little bit about your execution plans. So as we can see here, if I execute a query, and I use this DBMS explant display cursor and pass the name of the cursor, I can see this plan here, which helps in some cases, but it's poor regarding information. So if I use this hint, which is a good one, so gather plan statistics, and I use the same DBMS explan display cursor, we will see here the difference. So I will see this information here, estimated holes, and this information here, actual holes. Okay, what I did here, just for education purposes, I disabled the dynamic sampling here for the both tables with a hint. So I don't recommend to do that because Oracle can use dynamic sampling to solve performance problems for you. Okay, we will see in the next slide. So in this case, I use the hint here to gather more statistics on the plan. And I have here what Oracle think that we will find on the tables and the steps, okay? And here what he found on the each steps of the plan. Here I executed the same thing with the gather statistics hint. Here just put a comment to find the SQL on my $SQL. So I use Mufalani 1 here and Mufalani 1 here, just to find the correct SQL ID and produce the good plan. So in the previous case, I by purpose on purpose I didn't collect stats on those tables. So one thing Oracle thought, based on the size of the table and some other stuff, which even to provide to retrieve the rows back, it will find kind of thousand and thousand of rows here, which is not true because I am filtering by the index. I created an index on the table ID, which is the primary key of the table. So if I left it here, Oracle will resolve the query for me, and the estimated holes here, because it's based on stats, on dynamic sampling, and the actual holes here are really, really close, which is good, and the plan it's better. So the cost of the execution, this plan here is 6 against the 259 on the previous problem. Another thing that I found very often is wrong data types. So if you store data on your database in a correct with the correct data type, Oracle don't need to implicitly convert it all the time you execute a query. So in this case, I am just for fun creating in a previous created table, I am adding the column created, which is supposed to be date, sorry, and I created as varchar, okay? So, and another problem here is, and really I saw that in some customers, I am doing the opposite. So I created the column as varchar, and then I am when I do select here, I am converting the data type to date. by the query. So these results into a table full scan, which costs a lot, and that's why the reason Oracle needs to do implicit conversion here. So if your queries, if you want to check if your queries aren't doing some conversion, you can note this in case of date. Okay, so in case of date, data type, you're gonna see internal function on the the, the top of the column, as we see here. The correct way, it's always store the data as the data type with the correct data type. So here I am doing the same thing, but in that case I am storing the data as varchar, and I am using also the varchar to get the rows back. In that case, the plan it's quite better, okay, the cost, because the usage of the index in a huge table, and I am just searching for some about 100 rows to return back. So in that case, even using the wrong data type, if I don't convert, Oracle was able to use the index, and the performance of the query it's good. So on this third example, I am now I realize my mistake. I am using the correct date format to store the data type, to store data. Oh, this is strange for me to speak. And the query also use the index with less cost, and everything was fine. But I am converting just these small string here as date, which is good, and I can do that on easily on every single program language available in the market. So another problem that we face on daily basis, I miss the count how many times I received a ticket to create a new schema on the database without the privileges listed on the ticket. So when I reply the ticket to the developer asking about the permission, most of the times I received back, I need the role of the DBA role on my schema. So in 99% of the 99 or more % of the times, it's not true, because DBA role has access almost everything on the database, so it will cause a little bit of troubles if you give DBA roles for your applications. And time to time, I arrive in a customer to do some work, some consultants on it, and I saw a lot of applications with DBA roles on it. So, for example, one guy can do drop on a table in another schema if they have a DBA role on it. So time to time, I also receive some requests about the password of SIS or system, which is accounts just belonging to the DBA team. And time to time, as I mentioned before, they request some DBA roles. I already face some cases that the developers request the root access of the database servers, So it's even more dangerous because with wrong command, it could remove everything on it. Please stop and analyze the privileges you're gonna ask to the DBA. So this kind of privileges with any is not good. So also um, check if you really need drop user or alter user. For example, these commands are not available on the autonomous database. If you need those privileges, you cannot run your system on autonomous. Try to apply the least privilege principle. So all the times do a double check and talk with your DBA about the things you are gonna produce into that application, and then you can just request the privileges really need to perform those activities. Okay, strong passwords and change policies. Some applications you can not change the password, and sometimes I saw a lot of times the name of the schema as the password and in a production system, and still happening all the days. So in version I think 11G, Oracle introduced a parameter to put the passwords in case sensitive. I think for most of the applications developed before these parameters come to the production, I need to disable it. And okay, for applications created after the 11G, I can use this parameter as true, but otherwise I can't. I need to disable it because the application cannot connect on the database anymore because of the password. Okay, so again, database links on from prod to test and test from prod. Stop to request that for your DBAs. Most of the cases, the DBAs must to open a ticket with the security team, and it's not allowed for the most of the companies. They have some network segregation between the prod and test, especially for financial institutions. Okay, accessing the prod database with SQL utilities. These for sure it's not a smartest idea to do, because time to time we are humans, we make mistakes, and for sure in one day we run the wrong command in the wrong database. If we are running the scripts using SQL utilities like SQL Developer, Toad, and PL SQL Developer, and other stuff, other tools, we probably will damage the database. And last but not least important, stop to ask the change request on Friday 5 p.m. please, for your security in that case. So this tool, it's an amazing tool for developers. So PL SQL Developer, it's at least in Brazil, was the dominated tool. It was the biggest tool used in the market, especially for the developers. So this feature, it's amazing for debug PL SQL code. By default, the tool does that in a really good manner, in a really good way. But when we start to use this tool, we, instead of using the command update, we frequently, very often, we become lazy and start to use this way for update the rows on the database. So we launch an SQL star from a table for update. Then we press that that button here, and then we are able to update the code here. Okay, and then we log the row for sure, and we put all the sessions waiting for the transaction to be committed. Okay, so a long time ago, a former boss, which worked as the team leader of the development, and I was below under the same department. We go for lunch, and he was called like 10 minutes after we left the office because he did an update using PL SQL Developer, and all the sessions of one application was completely hang because he locked a lot of holes in an important application hang for all the users. So we need to come back to the office and fix the thing just by launching a commit, and then come back to the lunchtime again. So PL SQL, it's very good, but it's a paid application, and SQL Developer, it's extremely good, but it's for free. And it's also capable of doing debug. You just need to some privileges and some extra steps, okay? So the privilege you need for debug is debug connect session and debug end procedure. You need to also create an ACL. So you need to work with your DBA to create this access control list. And then everything you need is enjoy the debug of your procedures. So doing like this, you can mark, create breakpoints. You can check here after the after the creation of the ACL, the procedure to open a session on the server works well. So I can navigate on each steps of my code and check the values of the variables right here, for example. So here we can see the value of the variable c.id here. C.id has changed because the loop, okay, and that's it. Another really good thing, in my opinion, is having dedicated connections on every single tab on SQL Developer, because you can hang one and you're not able to work on the other ones. So if you go on preference and mark and tick this new worksheet, use unshared connection, but be aware sometimes you have a limited amount of connections on the DBA. So if you click on it, so don't open like 300 tabs on your SQL Developer, otherwise you can exhaust the all sessions just for you, okay? This is how after flag that property how it behaves on SQL. So we can see the SID here, it's completely different on the same connection. And you can note here the unshared word. So this one is the second tab that I opened. The first one was this one, and the second one was that one. Okay. This is a recurrent problem that I saw since I was starting with Oracle back to the Oracle 8i. So people still not indexing the foreign keys. So in this case, I just built a small scenario with the table departments and employees. So every single employee must be attached to one department in an organization, right? So if I have a foreign key pointing to the employees to the department table, I should index it. Otherwise, I can hang, and we're gonna see this. So in this case, I just insert one row here on table employees to the department 3. Department 3 is development, okay? And when I try to do a change on the table's department, because I don't index the foreign keys, what I see is my session here completely rang, okay? Because the first insert I did here issued a lock. So if I note that and maybe call the DBA will do this select here on the dollar session, and we can see this SID 59 is blocking the table completely. So my table department is completely locked because of the missing index, okay? This behavior, it's expected and is listed on that note here. So note 1945.5.74.1. You can take a look on it. The behavior changed a little bit from the versions 10G and 11G and onwards, but still most of the same, okay? If I do the same commands using and creating the index on the column on the child's table, the lock doesn't occur. So we should index all the foreign keys by default, unless you don't update the parent table, okay? This is funny. Long time ago, I went to a customer and they were already using to name convention like Java classes for Oracle regular tables. So they just put the name of the classes of the tables like this. So after a while, they realized the problem, but they already invest a lot of time. So it will be they need to rewrite everything on the system to get rid of these circumstances. So I think the only customers that I work for in my entire life using the name of the tables like that, and I will show you the problem on it. So if you type like this inside enclosed by double quotes, Oracle allows you to create an object with upper and lower case, and also some special characters, which is not a good practice at all, because all the time you need to access this object, you are obliged to write with the column names and the table names inside double quotes, okay? And Oracle allows you, but if you try to create an object with the duplicate name, Oracle will give you back an error. So in this case, I have employees here in the two different ways, because for Oracle, this it's completely different than that, okay? So when I need to run a query against my tables, okay, select star worked pretty well. I don't need to care too much about it, but I need to refer the table like this. Otherwise, I will look into the data of the other table with the employees with all the letters in uppercase, okay? But here, if I forget to type the ID at the double quotes here, and I don't use the correct case to access the data of ID, I will end up with the error invalid identifier, which is true. For Oracle, the ID in the table employees with the capital letter I and lower case on D. So just to give another example, here I have the same name of the table, departments, okay, with lowercase and uppercase, and the regular, but here I have 2 columns and here I have 3 columns. So just to be sure that they are different. And also with special characters, we have a problem if we forget to use the double quotes on it in this example. But the problem will be when your DBA needs to export using data pump, for example, to export those tables. If the DBA needs to do an export of the entire schema, so far so good, no big deal, because you don't need to type anything else more. But if you request him to just export some of those tables, look at this, how the command should be, and this probably will be the face of your DBA when answer the ticket requesting the export and import of those tables. Okay. Another
Rodrigo, for your information, you're on 45 minutes now.
Okay, thank you. I am speed up a little bit. So the full row fetch size of the Java DBC, it's still 10 rows since long time ago. I have checked it on the 21C documentation and still there. So it means for example, to retrieve 100 rows of your database, you do 10 round trips on your database server. So you navigate through the network on your database server. So think about it. I just did an adjustment here using array size. So I put 10. And I launch a query, and as you can see, the number of the fetches, and the number of SQLnet round trips from 2 clients, it's 10 to return 100 of rows. So talk with your network admin, talk with your DBA, and adjust this size for your reality. Another another feature that I use too much is taking a look of the past data on Oracle. So Flashback Query, it's very important to developers. So it enables you to use to see and retrieve the past data of the table. Sometimes you issue a delete that you don't want to, or you are not completely correct, so you can revert it back with some work on it. So in this case, I loaded the table twice, and I query using this as of timestamp and pass the timestamp that I want to see the data. So here we can see the current rows, which is on the flashback query table that I created here on top, and the past data using the as of timestamp. So this is very handy and saved my life a couple of times. Okay. Bind variables, it's a recurrent problem. So this should be a shared cursor. So Oracle spend a lot of time compiling the code to create a cursor. So instead of doing this non-shared cursor, so write your codes to use bind variables. So in that case, Oracle will not spend too much time to execute my queries and create the cursor in memory, non-shared pool. And the last trick for today, it's loading the data with the SQL developer. I saw a thread on Twitter recently about that. So it's really easy. I will create two tables here, and I will load some data with SQL developer. So from Excel. So we can choose if you want to skip some records on the Excel file. You can adjust some part of the format of the data in case of data type. You can map the columns as you wish. So this is one thing that I do, and in the past I used to insert using formulas the insert command on the Excel and then transform it into a script, then around the database. So in this case, as you can see, the question, the exclamation mark, it's because they have two columns mapped to same column on Excel sheet. And another thing that is important in that case, it's use the same names on the SQL, on the Excel sheet, than on the same names on the table. So in that case, you can load the data, and the data with some problems, SQL you give to you, and you can work on that. But if you don't want to get surprises, you can use one trick. Create a table with the same structure, but with a lot of big varchars on it. Then you can load the data on the database, and after that you can work on the data using SQL commands. Okay. So as I am running out of time, I will leave some part to the QA. So general advices, you can skip this part. Don't play like this, especially on the performance issue. So DBAs don't blame the developers, and developers don't blame the DBAs, because you need to work together in order to fix the things on the database and so on. So questions and answers. Sorry for running out of time. I expected to do in less time.
We have remarks and questions. I don't
Okay.
know if you see the questions.
No, I am. Let me close the.
There's a remark. First remark is commit inside loop. We call it row by row, slow by slow.
Yes. Sure. And also, I went to a financial institution when they have a big problem here to upgrade from the Oracle 11.2 to 12c Release 2, because they treated not just by the commit, but they treat all the PL SQLs processing row by row instead of run into blocks, so use of the bulk collect and everything. So by the end, most of my recommendations were regarding this. So adjust this process to process in blocks, not row by row.
Next is also more a remark, I think. But maybe you can.
I've seen objects with lowercase character generating converting access database to the, yeah, and sometimes it happens by accident, but somebody else tried to generate a copy and paste and put a space or some kind of a special characters on it. Yeah, but true, I've seen that too. And how about to getting a read writes, like select catalog rights? Do not remember exactly the privileges. Yeah. This is a problem when you have a consolidated environment. For example, imagine I am running two different systems with different providers in the same database, and someone ask the DBA to give some privilege on $$ session. Okay, the multi-tenant solves this kind of problem because you create a completely separated PDB, but in back old days, it can be a mess if you, for example, give the grants of to $$ session or $$ SQL and other kind of views.
Okay, that were the questions, I think. And we are running, indeed, we are running out of time.
I'm so sorry for that.
No problem. No problem. We discussed it before, before the session. Yeah, and then I like to thank you for your insight. And a lot of the content is very recognizable stuff for me. And,
yeah, probably some people saw most of the things that I present today, but it's good to remind people because I am seeing so frequently, and it's good to remember and adjust the things.
Yes, and you have kind of different developers. You have got Java developers, you got SQL developers. So yeah, everybody's different, but they should work together.
Sure. And also, as much as the DBA works close to the developers and the opposite as well, everybody got benefits of it, because we imagine on the database side you can adjust a lot of things, but without change some kind of queries, you not get improvements on performance. So you need the developers to adjust, to trust on what you are saying. So yeah, if everybody be nice, so everybody will be happy by the end.
Okay. Then I want to close this session. I want to thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much for accepting my presentation again, and it was my pleasure to be here. So bye-bye, and